there's a more advanced one after that.
Okay, cool.
But this one seems to be the most popular since a lot of folks haven't even touched them yet. So how many, let me just go ahead and get how many has actually logged in and set up your site or done anything with it?
Allison did mine.
So when you log in, this is what you're seeing rather than seeing the, hey, your Placester website
Mine
is ready to
keeps
go
popping
live.
up like that anyway, but I've done everything to mine.
Well, tell it to stop popping up.
Okay.
Guys, before you get started, y'all are being recorded.
I'm in the witness protection plan.
So no foul language, guys.
Please, get it out of your system.
None whatsoever? We can't, like,
I do, but
drop an S-bomb anytime?
yeah, I do, but
Well, you have
Okay.
all these on live stream?
let me know if you need anything, okay?
I will.
You mean I didn't have to come
Hey, that's why I stopped doing the Facebook Live thing from our office, because I figured it out. Nobody was showing up. Everybody was sitting on their computer at home watching. I'd rather be live.
We had 70 something the last time we did, on looking at it the other, some other class we had the other day, there were 70 some people on it.
Really?
Yeah,
It was probably the urgent message.
it might have been,
Saying, yes.
it might have been.
All right, so everybody is here today to learn more about how to set up your KW website. Is there a way to turn just these lights off, or can we?
Yes.
There is?
I think we can switch on. Do you want the backlights on?
I mean, is that okay with y'all? I mean, you sure? Probably see that better. So setting up your Placester website. Everybody knows we have a new website interface now. Hey, how are you? We used to have two websites. Now we have one. We used to have eEdge and eAgency. That is now considered the, I guess they're calling it the legacy websites. This is the new one, Placester. It is mobile friendly. The old sites were not mobile friendly unless you hired somebody to make them mobile friendly and paid them a lot of money to do that. I did, and ended up having to pay for it again. So, yay for me. So anyway, this is what you're going to see when you log into your website interface. Okay, you know, we used to come up here and go to Agent Website Admin, and you would see this window pop up for your eAgency website. This is the old interface. Can everybody see?
Yeah. I'm good.
That's what it used to look like. Now, when you come over to technology and go to KW websites, that's where you find this page. So you scroll down to the bottom, and I've got my site pulled up, so I'm going to ask for somebody else's site that hasn't really done a whole lot so we can kind of show you what it looks like all the way through. But I'm going to go ahead and open up my site. And for those of you that haven't seen what the new sites look like, I'm just going to pull mine up. Now, keep in mind that I have paid Brandco, which is a Keller Williams vendor, to kind of revamp my site. So not all of your sites are going to look like this because they've redesigned mine. But this is on the same platform as what yours is. All right, so let me pull up another browser window here. This computer is really fast. I bet it's the live stream that's slowing it down. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. All right, so once you go to My KW, Technology, KW websites, this is what you're going to see. This shows you your site in the interface. So you got 4 tabs up here. Don't worry about those right now. We're going to go over here to view lives. View details. I'm sorry. once you click on View Details, it brings you to your editing pages. You'll see down the left-hand side all the ones in blue. Those are all the things that you're going to need to do right away to get your site set up. Okay? Your IDX integration, your global filters, your featured listings, your open house info. If you're going to do that, most of the juicy stuff that I like to call is down here at the bottom for lead capture, custom domain, site tracking, all this stuff. We're going to go through all this today. Okay? I'm going to go through it step by step on each one of them. There's going to be some of these parts right here that you're not going to have to worry about today. And you're probably not going to want to mess with them at all. It just depends on what you want to use your site for. But these sites, these new Placester websites, are really, really good with SEO. Okay, they're a lot better in search engine optimization is what I'm talking about here. They're much more recognized by Google and Yahoo and Bing than our old sites were, because Placester has done a lot of that for us. They're just asking us to fill in the blanks, basically. So if you ever worked on your old site, that's okay. If you ever worked on your old sites and saw how clunky it was, this is much more simple. Much more simple.
Don't get started now.
Yeah, okay. I was just getting everybody into it here, so you showed up at the perfect time. So you'll see across the top as well. There are some different things you can click on here. We're in site settings right now. You can go to pages. We'll go through that in just a little bit. This is where you add a page to your website. Blog post. Everybody's heard of WordPress, right?
Yeah.
WordPress blogs. This is built on a WordPress site platform, okay? Because most of your websites these days are in blog format because of the content. Google, Yahoo, Bing, the big search engines, they're looking at content on your website. They're not so much looking at backlinks that they used to, because there's so much going on with fake backlinks and all this other stuff. They're looking at content, okay? So these sites are built on a blogging platform. So keep that in mind. If you're not blogging now, you're going to want to start blogging. If you want to add agents, you can do that. Testimonials and areas. Areas is huge, and I'm going to show you this. This is really cool. We'll get to that in just a little bit. So site settings. First site setting is your IDX. Does everybody know what IDX is? That's your search. That's the ability for your consumers to go to your site and search listings. You guys use FMLS up here, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So you're gonna be able to integrate one or the other in your site. I've got First MLS chosen because I'm in Gwinnett. Most of the agents down there are going to use FMLS more than they would George MLS. So that's why I've selected First MLS as my IDX provider. Now you're going to have to link your IDX and your MCA or your who's your who handles that here for y'all? Allison. She does, okay. Allison can set you up and show you how to do that. But all you have to do is click this right here, request a new integration. Requires a subscription? Really? I think I have one. Guys, I don't know why it's doing that, but it's never done it before. Okay. Anyway, you're going to click on that button right there. Click on that link, and it's going to allow you to request a new integration into your FMLS, George MLS, whichever one you want to be in. Okay? Any questions?
How did the KWLS get up there? Did you add that?
You can add that.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want to use that, you can, because if you think about it, KWLS pulls in George MLS and FMLS, or if you're in Athens, it pulls in Navica and George MLS, or if you're in Habersham, it pulls in that one up there. So it actually pulls in both MLSs. So if you use KWLS, you're going to get both listings. So if you look on your site for one of your preferred or one of your listings, and it shows two listings there, that's why. But if you just choose First MLS or George MLS, it's only going to show one. I like to use First MLS because KWLS is not as updated as often as FMLS is.
So you just click on the use this MLS to change it?
Yep. Like if I wanted to change mine to Georgia MLS, I would just click it there and it would be selected, and I would just save it. So, that was easy, right?
Yep.
Okay. Global filters. All right, now here's the good thing. Let's keep this in mind, folks. When you're looking at setting up this site, they've done a really good job, I think, compared to what we used to have, of telling you exactly what needs to go in these blanks and what these pages are for. So you just read it. It says use global filters to determine which listings in your MLS to display on your website. So check the box under all listings if you want to display all MLS listings, or if you just want to set a certain criteria for listings. So if you're selling lake properties and that's all you want to do, you don't want to sell anything that's not on the waterfront, you would come in here and specify. Of course, if you want to add search criteria, you just click, bring it up here. Let's just say you wanted to sell homes with a minimum price. Click, click, click.
That's already on your list.
Oh, you're right, it is. Sorry, my bad. Minimum price of $500,000. So now the only thing that's going to show on your website when somebody pulls up your IDX are listings 500 and over. So it's really specific in that you can tell it what you want your consumers to see from your site. Now, I don't care what I sell. So I'm not going to put anything in there like that. I'm not going to specify any criteria because I want them to find what they want to find. But if you want to, you could do that. So, click on all listings. If you want all the listings to show, just click the box. Display all listings for my MLS on my website. Are you sure? Yes. That's it. So basically what that means is when somebody clicks on your website, they can search for whatever they want to search for if you display all the listings. If you only want them to see certain things, if you only want them to see mobile homes on 10 acres, then that's what they'll see. That's what you specify. Okay. Featured listings. This is pretty simple. You can do the same thing here. You can give special attention on your site to just your listings, or you can specify listings. I mean, I could put Patricia's listings on my site if I wanted to, and just have her listings show up if I wanted to work with her more often. So you would just go down and do the same thing you did on the page before. You just specify which listings you want to show as your featured listings. And then when you go to your featured listings tab on your website, that's what you would see. I have a feeling
And
we're
it'll
going
also show all the other listings on there. You just click on featured to find it.
Right, right. Because you see all my tabs up here, you can do just a generic listing search, or you can do featured listings, which I don't know what I've got featured on here. I can't remember. I've probably made so many changes to it because I've done this class so many times. I probably didn't change it back. I'm sure I've got some something in there, some kind of filters. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, that's what you're going to do. The same thing. It works the same principle as the one before. You're just going to specify what you want to be shown on that tab. Pretty cool, huh? Especially if you want to stay away from a certain type of home. Open house info. This one actually is only available if you're doing the single property sites, which you have to do an upgrade to get. So we don't have to worry about that one. Funny story. I don't normally do open houses. I did an open house this weekend. First time I've done an open house in 8 years. I went back and looked at it. The last listing I did an open house on was 8 years ago. Sunday, 1 to 3. Put it out there on Georgia MLS, Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com. I mean, I put it out there on the web, ran a Facebook post, and boosted a post on it. Had one couple show up, unrepresented, letter in hand, ready to buy. Going out and showing properties tonight. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. 8 years? And all I had to do was show up for 2 hours on a Sunday? Come on. I don't know, I just never have done it. But my wife says, I think we need to be doing more open houses. I said, I think you're right. So, now we're going to get into the design of the site, what the site's going to look like. Now, again, remember, I hired somebody to make mine look this way, and you can do that too. Brandco is awesome. Michael Tripphart does it as well. He's a national trainer for Keller Williams. But you can go in here and change your theme. They have some pretty cool looking themes on this, a lot better than I think the ones we had prior to this. But you just scroll through and choose one that fits your area. Don't choose a beach house if you don't sell property on the beach. This one right here looks like Gainesville or around this area, North Georgia area. That one does not. That one does not. Again, maybe. Probably not. Definitely not. Maybe. So you got some good options there. They give you eight different ones. And then you can choose your color if you want to change the color. Now, you can also choose if you want to have something show over the slideshow. Your home page is going to, when you click on your home page, it's going to have a slideshow of different pictures scrolling across the screen every few seconds. That's what it's asking you here. Do you want to enter a statement to show over the slideshow? If you do, fine, stick it in there. If not, you don't have to. Pay attention to the help on the right-hand side on each one of these pages, because there's some good tips over here, and there's also a help up here as well that you can use as you're setting this up. And then as a third option, if you want to, you can email me and I'll help you with that. All right, so we're not going to save that because I'm not going to change it up. Trying to get another browser open here. Here we go. Second now. Somebody give me a login and password for your my KW.
You can use mine as Matthew Meeks.
Oops. Look at this thing.
And it's capital D, ENT, LEY01.
Say that again, Matthew.
You always do it fast enough.
That's right.
You need his email one. Okay, all right, I'll send it to you.
All right. So if you haven't touched your site, this is what you're going to get when you log in. You're going to see this. It says, click here to set up your website now. So Matthew obviously hasn't done anything with his. You can ask to remind you later, or you can just say, don't show this again. Or you can just click here to set your website up now. So we're going to do that. Goes us back to that same page I showed you before. Go to my website. Is it 01 or 1?
01.
So this is what his website looks like right now, straight out of the box. That's what all your websites are going to look like straight out of the box. See how it scrolls across? Isn't that cool? And it's so much better than out of the box e-agency or e-edge. I mean, it looks so much more professional. Even if you didn't touch it. Even if you didn't touch it.
And you know what's even better? The name is more appropriate. Remember how E-Edge?
Yeah.
You see, that says Matthew Mix at KW?
Right.
The other was a long thing.
Yeah.
And if you had it linked to your own name, your name, it still would pop up that.
Well, that's because you didn't have a CNAME set up right.
Oh.
I could help you with that. But that basically, you just go into GoDaddy or whoever was your domain provider, and you point that particular domain to that KW site, and then when you pulled it up, if you do it right, it would have your domain in the address bar.
Okay, well, you need to teach Alan how to do it.
Okay. All right, so that's what his site looks like right now. Get some of these cleared out here. They do.
Yeah.
They do. All right, so we're gonna go into Matthew's here. I'm gonna choose some themes. Matthew, we're just gonna fix you up here. So we got his.
Matthew loves to sell trailers, by the way, when you do his.
Does he?
What's that?
He's a trailer king.
Trailer? The single wide or double wide?
Single.
I'll sell anything.
Okay.
Or I used to, so it's private.
I do not discriminate. All right, so we're gonna look at the slideshows, and I'm gonna go back and forth here. So I'm probably gonna confuse the crap out of you guys with this, but I'm going back and forth between mine and his because I want to show you what it looks like before and after. So we're just gonna go back and forth here to this is the slideshow homepage. What's really cool about the slideshow is you can choose their stock photos if you want to, or you can upload your own. Just make sure you own the picture. Don't go to the internet and snag a picture of Gainesville downtown that somebody else owns, unless you're going to be planning on giving them credit for it. If you're not going to give them credit for it, you're going to get in trouble. So don't do that. So this is the default.
I have a question.
Okay.
The pictures that you upload, do they have to be a certain form, certain size?
Yes. We'll get that in just a second. There is a certain size you have to resize them to for them to look correctly on the screen.
And be a JPEG?
Yes. Yeah. So you can choose one of these slideshows if you want to. They give you, different ones: luxury properties, mid-price homes, nature, whatever you want to do, or you can make your own, and that's where you go up here. Every one of these pages from here on out just about has this little plus box here. That means you can add whatever you want to add. So you click on the plus, you can add a slideshow. There we go. Name your slideshow. Use slideshow. Guys, it's really hard to type when I'm standing up like this, so I'm sorry if I misspell something. So now you got your own slideshow. You can put in here as many pictures as you want. You can go out and I'll give you an idea because I'll show you the pages I did this on. I took my camera and I went to many different places: Buford, Swanee. I did the Q already. I just went around town for like an hour, just snapping shots with my camera. Okay, so my pictures. I don't have to work. I spent an hour. Okay, I was already in the area, had my camera in the car, anticipating being able to do this. Come back and upload the pictures to my website. Now I don't have to worry about giving credit to anybody. I don't have to worry about driving traffic to anybody else's website through that picture. It all belongs to me. And I can manipulate the pictures however I want to inside of Photoshop. And it can look as good as you want. But all you do is just click upload. When you click upload, obviously it's going to ask you where you want to pull that picture from. Hopefully you've already downloaded your pictures from your camera into your computer, and you can just pull the pictures from here. So once you do that, you're going to add a caption and link it. Here's the cool part. When that picture scrolls across the screen, you can link it to another page within your site. Google loves that. Google loves to see links back and forth in your site. In other words, they want to see that picture that you just clicked on goes back to a blog post that you wrote about that particular neighborhood. Well, what's better than that, right?
And actually, if you were to click on the picture, that would go to that link?
Yep.
Okay.
If you go out and take pictures, say of like a certain building, do you have to get a photo release from the owners of it, or
As far as I know, no. As long as you don't have faces in there, you're fine.
Not
Now-
for public access.
No, I don't think so. So, but now, you'll see some of the pictures that I took are at like Swanee Town Center, and there's some people way in the background, but you can't make out who they are.
So if you're like on Green Street and you take any pictures of the businesses or anything like that, as long as you don't take a picture of the business name.
No, you can do that.
Okay.
But, I mean, think about it this way. Why would they care? It's more advertising for them, right? They're not going to care if you take a picture of their building, their sign and put it on your website. They don't care.
You put more. You put more.
Yeah, just don't link anything in your site unless you really want to. Well, I guess you can. I mean, what I'm saying is you don't want to drive people away from your site. So if you take a picture of a restaurant downtown and go, "This is my favorite restaurant," and you write a blog post about it, you're probably going to put a link in there to go check out their menu. But don't go overboard with it because you don't want to take them away from your site. In other words, you don't want them to bounce from your site. You want them to stay on your site. So you can do that. So uploading these pictures is really easy. If you want to add more, I think you can add up to, I want to say you can add more than 5 pictures, but maybe that's just for the home page. And then on the other pages, I think you can add as many as you want, yeah. So it's a limit of 5 pictures here. And then you can add as many as you want on your area pages, your town pages that I'll show you. Now, you asked the question about the size of the pictures. On the right-hand side, it says, help, images must be at least 600 pixels wide by 660 pixels tall. That's where they'll stretch the page, okay? That's with the mobile platform that we're on now. That's what's going to look best on a computer screen, okay? So your pictures will probably not, when you take your pictures with, I mean, you can take them with a cell phone, but I wouldn't advise it because there's not a whole lot. These things are good, but they're not. I don't care what Apple says. If you're going to go in and change and manipulate the picture, you want something that's been taken with a wide angle lens or something like that, where you can put it into Photoshop or Lightroom, stretch it out, resize it, change the white balance, all that stuff, make it look good for your site. But that's what size they need to be. And if you have one of those programs like Lightroom or Photoshop, it will do that for you. You just upload the picture in there, you tell it you want it to resize, and it'll ask you, what do you want me to resize it to? And I'll say, long edge, 1600 pixels. It'll resize the long edge to 1600 pixels, and then save the file for you. It's awesome. It's easy. Any questions on that? Now, you're probably asking, why would you want to go through all this trouble? Well, you want your site to be you. You want your site to be about your business. You got to remember, when these sites rolled out, 120,000 other agents at Keller Williams have the same site, same platform, same everything the same as you, unless you go in and change it. So you're getting no recognition on the internet whatsoever unless you start adding your own content. Pictures are the best way to get Google to recognize, and Bing and Yahoo to recognize your site as being a relevant site for real estate.
Okay, so with that said, let's say you change out a picture every week. That's going to boost your.
Yeah, but you don't even have to do that with this one because it scrolls. It's showing motion. So Google does not, when they crawl your site, they may crawl it, if they crawl it right now and then crawl it 5 minutes from now, a different picture may be, and that's the reason why they do that. There may be a different picture showing up when they crawl the site, so they say, okay, well they made a change to this site, or it shows that it's being updated when you add a blog post. When you add pictures. Yeah.
So we don't have to, I thought when you add a blog post that helps, but so we don't have to add a picture, just the fact the picture is changing.
Right. Well, you can do that if you want to go in and change those pictures from now
Well,
from
but
now to time. You can.
will that help your number, your score?
Your ranking?
Yeah.
It will, but I mean, it's a lot of trouble to keep updating those pictures. I mean, if you did it once every quarter, you'd probably be okay. But the scrolling and the fact that it's the way it's set up already and the SEO that Placester has done for us, you don't really need to do that.
But is it, the pictures give you the same ranking as a blog post will, or is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know that you can really answer that question because it depends on what the pictures are, where they're linked, how they're described, whether your keywords are in there, and that goes the same thing for the blog post. If you write a blog post with no keywords, no pictures, and it's just text, you're probably not going to get much recognition for it.
Can we put videos in
In your blog, you sure can.
the blog, but not in the?
Well, there is a way to put it on like the homepage, but you're going to write some code for that. And I don't know how to write code. Well, I can write code, but I know enough to get me in trouble. I'll put it that way. I don't do it that often because if I screw it up, I got to pay somebody to fix it, and I don't like doing that. So. All right, so we talked about slideshow certifications. Obviously, this is pretty easy. Just go in and check any of these certifications that you have. You got any of these, Matthew?
GRs in there somewhere.
In there, I don't see it.
Yeah, you get the realtor one over there. You got it. White Cone Park. I don't know.
GRI is right underneath that one in the left.
Is it?
I gotta do the
Oh yeah.
logo.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
I think that's about it.
Okay. All right, social networks. This is not important, right? It's a joke. You gotta liven up. Does everybody know what Facebook is? Please say yes. Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google Plus. Here's what I can't believe it. A lot of people don't even use Google Plus. Do you know what Google Plus is? Google Plus is Google's version of Facebook. It is a social network that really never took off. But they're not killing it yet. I keep reading that they're going to kill it, but they haven't done it. I've been reading that for 2 years. But here's the deal with Google Plus. Google Plus is a social network that was created by Google. So if you put something on Google Plus, like a listing, or you post an open house on Google Plus, and you put some keywords in there, or tag it with a hashtag, everybody knows what a hashtag is, right? Where do you think that's going to show up in Google rankings? Why? Because Google loves Google, right? Google's going to show up higher than Facebook or Twitter in search engine rankings. So if you're using the right keywords in your posts on Google Plus, you're going to get some good SEO from that.
Be careful when you say, I can't believe some people, because we're here to learn, we probably don't know.
No, I know. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't realize that Google Plus is they don't realize it's a social network. And that's exactly what it is. Where did mine go? Okay. Okay. So real quickly, oh, this computer is really slow, I'm sorry. So here you go. Google Plus. See how I wrote that post right there? New listing with hashtag Winder, hashtag home for sale, hashtag Winder homes for sale. When people go on to Google and they type in Winder homes for sale, they're going to see this somewhere in their results. use this. Go ahead and set up your Google Plus business site. You have to verify. It's just like it used to be Google Places. That's what it used to be called. Now they turned it into this. So you have to verify your address. You have to verify your business. They just send you a postcard. They give you a code. You go in and type in the code, and that's how they verify who you are. It's really simple to do.
A word of caution for Google Plus. I set mine up, and I had it set up with a Google number that was supposed to transfer to my number, but that my own personal cell phone number wouldn't be displayed for every telemarketer in the world to see, and it completely messed up my phone where I stopped getting phone calls.
You stop getting phone calls at all?
It would forward it all to my Google Voice and say this call cannot be completed. So be very careful setting up different phone numbers.
Well, I don't think we've got a Google number, but I don't think I've had that issue. I don't even know.
The problem is it's hard to get fixed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because you're right. See what number we have in here. Yeah, we've got a Google number in there actually. But we get calls all the time from this, so I guess it's working okay. So that's what it looks like. So talking about your Facebook, does everybody know how to find their Facebook URL? Let's go to Facebook right quick. I'll show you how to do it. Somebody remind me to log out of everything when I leave here today.
Log out of here when you leave everything today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're freezing, I'm burning up. All right, so if you have does everybody have a Facebook business page set up?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. If you go to the address bar at the top of the page and grab this address right here, go back over here. We found the page I was on. All right, you see they've already got facebook.com/. All they want you to put in there is everything after the slash. So if you grab that URL from your Facebook page, post it or paste it in there, and then just backspace, there you go. That's all you need in there. And then when they go to your website and they hit that button on your page for Facebook, it's going to take them right to my Facebook business page. Right there. So all you're doing is linking them up to your business Facebook page. Now I'm sure Matthew does not want me to send his folks to my page, so I'm going to back that out of there. Now here's the deal. I don't expect you to do all these because honestly you really need to pick 2 of these and just kind of focus on them. A lot of people try to do them all and it's just too much. Unless you've got a marketing person that's handling it for you, it's just way too much. Facebook, Twitter is expensive to use for business. I'll just tell you that. LinkedIn is good. Everybody's heard of LinkedIn. If you don't get 15 emails per day from LinkedIn, you're doing something wrong. Pinterest, for whatever reason, Pinterest has changed their feed or the way they connect with this site. So don't worry about Pinterest right now. Apparently Placer's working on that. I found that out a couple weeks ago. Google Plus we talked about. If you have a YouTube channel, go ahead and put the YouTube channel in here. Instagram, Yelp. Yelp used to be a good one for reviews, but all that I've read about Yelp is they manipulate their reviews so much. I don't know how much credit people really give them these days.
Did I say anything on YouTube?
Yeah.
one of the YouTube's things or whatever that recently kind of brought up, or what was keep in mind, after you sell the house, you gotta pull that thing down, you can't keep advertising stuff or putting a house out there that you don't have anymore.
That's pretty much way on Facebook.
Unless you have something written, and there's a lot of non-compliant things, and we just got back from GAR, GREC's fixing to get kind of ugly on all this.
Yeah.
It's coming,
I don't, it doesn't
so
surprise
monitor
me.
yourself, man.
Even on
Just sold.
Facebook, you gotta take it off?
Just sold things can
Well-
only be done if you have written permission,
Well, you can,
or just listed, or anything, once you
No,
don't have
just
it
listed you
anymore.
can do, because you're, they're,
Just listed, yes,
but not just sold.
they're saying you have to have permission to say it's just sold.
From the new owner,
Oh, for the new owner.
from the new owner, because you no longer have any agreement with the previous owner, because they don't own it.
Internet, or is that like
That's
mailing?
everything.
But why do you need to remove it from Facebook, because it's long gone, I mean, it's.
Well, it's still there though. If they scroll down your news feed, they're gonna see that listing there. Even if it says, and it sounds to me like David's saying that even if you put on there, this listing has been sold in a comment below that particular post, you've gotta have permission from the new owner to do that.
Yep.
Or you gotta remove it, just delete the post.
But if you have new listing and you just leave it on there forever.
The news fine.
Yeah, news
It's
listing's fine.
after it closes is the issue.
Yeah, after it closes, it's no longer our listing or we don't have an agreement with that particular owner, so. Yeah,
What's the chances of them going that far back to see it anyway?
I don't think it's the chances of GREC doing it. I think it's the chances of somebody reporting you that somebody tagged
It's rock thrown from place to place, but it is a violation of advertising guidelines from GREC.
So many things we have. Yeah, any of that. Yeah, exactly. So keep that in mind when you're putting those listings out there. Now, if you've got an admin that can do that for you, I mean, that's not a big deal. They can go in and, I mean, I would hate to know I'm paying somebody to go monitor my Facebook and.
Is that something you can put as like a special stip in the listing contract?
Doesn't help
No, because it doesn't help with the new owner. Yeah. Now, if you can get the new owner to say, at closing, to say, hey, we're going to continue to market this as sold for the next year, if you're okay with it, get them to sign off on it, then you're good.
And then you purchase the solar panel, but it might be very great, but might get you there.
It's true.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, if they sign it, they're agreeing to it. Put
They
it,
agree.
get an attorney to write a special stip and just add it to your special stips every time. Yep, it's a good idea.
Just over, yeah.
All right, so we've talked about that. Where are we at here? 20 minutes. Social network search form. This, I wouldn't suggest changing this, guys, because this is one of those. Now, if you go to Zillow and you go to do a search on Zillow, you know, in their search box, you can pretty much type in whatever you want to type in and you'll find it. Okay, that's what this is. So I don't know why you ever want to change and use anything different than that, because that's kind of what everything's going to. If you wanted to use just price or just a city or just a zip code or neighborhood, if you wanted to be more specific in your search on your front page, which, see if I can find right here, is where that's going to show up. You can do that if you want to be more specific about it, but I would not change it from this, what's called an omnibox, because it auto suggests, but you can type in anything you want to type in there and it'll find it for you. So I'll just leave that. This is also specifies on your search page itself, on this page, how you want to search. I'll tell you why this box pops up here in just a little bit. But here you can specify the same thing. You've got that same box right here. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
See that? I'm going to keep using your site. You okay with that? Okay. No problem.
Make it really funny.
We're going to upload a picture of us all giving him the finger or something.
You want to put a date on my phone, but he won't.
All right, so let's go to, okay, that was a search form. I wouldn't really mess with that, honestly. I just leave that Omnibox there for both your homepage and the search tab, because that's going to be your best bet. Menu, this is what you want to show across the top of your page. Across here, that's what you're going to be looking at here. You can add or remove. Gives you some different ones you can add here. You can remove the contact, remove the blog. You can add some more in. You can add as many as you want. I will say this, though. I wouldn't go crazy with this. I've actually probably got more up there than I want. I think it gets a little busy sometimes up here. But, and I actually think I had one more up there the other day, and I took one down. So it stretched it out. Now, if you do have a lot of them up there, it's going to shrink the font to where it'll all fit. But I like the way that looks, so I'm going to leave it that way.
Is this where you have the testimonial page?
Yes, you can add testimonial. Exactly. That's where that's at.
It's not right there.
It's not,
You
is
can
it?
do a custom.
Oh, wait a minute. It's on About. It's under About.
Oh, you can't just forget about and just have testimonials.
Right. You can change the label.
You can make a custom one though, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can. But you can change the labels here. If you want it to say testimonials instead of About, you just come down, click the arrow here, and just change the name.
Okay.
So that's pretty self-explanatory. Any questions on that? All right.
Are they planning on adding more choices? Because I'd like one like to recruit, online. Am I gonna have to build them?
I don't know. Well, there's a place where you can do that if you want to. You can add a page
Right.
for that, and then when you add that page, you can just add a tab at the top for that page.
Yeah.
There's a way to do that. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
All right, this is one of the most important ones on here, site info. All right. This is what's going to make your site look like your site. All right, so right now you see Matthew has nothing at the top other than the Keller Williams logo. He's got his basic menu items here, his search. We're going to do a little changes, make some changes here so you can see. His brand name, I don't know what his brand name is, but we're just going to say it's Matthew Sells Gainesville, because I want you guys to see where this goes. His tagline is, Matthew is the best. We're going to select the KW logo. Now, there's a lot of logos in here for a lot of different brokerages, but I don't think ours is in here yet. I have it saved on my computer. You can pull it from your, you can go into the intranet on your MyKW and pull the logo for one of your partners and upload it here.
Allison will email it to you often.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, in the library.
There's a bunch of them here. So that's where you're going to do that. You're going to upload that here. And all you have to do is just upload the file, just like you would a picture. You save the JPEG file to your computer, upload it here, and it pops up right here. Now, in your site header, up here, where's the refresh on this? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we changed his thing. Save. Now we're going to see what it looks like. There you go.
Who's logo?
I didn't upload one. Okay, bye.
Where'd the red part go? Is it away or?
We changed the theme on it.
Oh, we did. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
remember we changed the theme when we were in theme? I just didn't. I hadn't refreshed it
Yeah.
yet.
You have to
So
pull from those things, right?
I'm sorry.
You have to pull from one of those things.
Right. Right. Well, or unless you have somebody design one of your own. Yeah. So we didn't upload a logo to the site yet, so he's not going to show a logo for right now. But maybe they have a generic one. Let me see if they have a generic one.
Move him to North County.
Yeah. Let's put him in Vegas, you think? What do you think? I don't see a generic one. Oh, there's one. Let's choose that one.
No.
All right, so now he has that generic Keller Williams logo there. If you want this to display the name and tagline up here in the site header, that's what that's doing there. And if you'll notice too, when we did that, you see what changed up here? Remember it was blank up here in this tab before I added this? Now it's added that to that tab, which means that Google now sees Matthew sells Gainesville. So what do you want to do there? You want to take some keywords. If you're going to use it in this state, if you're going to use this particular setup and not have anybody design it, Google recognizes that header right there as what this site is about. So if you're selling lake properties, Steve sells Lake Lanier, or Lake Lanier Homes, or south end of Lake, just name it, be hyper local about it. But that's what Google's going to see. Just kind of keep that in mind. It's called a meta tag. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So if you want to up a favicon, see this little thing right here? This little icon, that's called a favicon, just like the KW favicon. If you want to upload a favicon, all it is just taking a Keller Williams logo or your logo or whatever you want to use it or use in it. See, I've got my logo there. All I did was take my logo and crop it down in a picture and save it as a JPEG and upload it. That's all you got to do. But you got to have software like Photoshop or something to be able to do that, because you got to save it as a JPEG. But that's what that is.
I saw a free conversion thing earlier. There's a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. Just be careful with those, because there's a lot of spyware that they download when you start using their software. They put a bunch of crap on your computer. It's not pretty sometimes. So this is where you're going to add your info. You can upload a photo here. If Matthew wanted to upload his photo, he can do that here. Office details, you're going to add your office details here. At the bottom is SEO, search engine optimization, meta title, and meta description. So everybody always asks me, what is a meta title and meta description? So I went ahead and just typed it out for you. Meta tags provides metadata about the HTML document. HTML is the code that your page is written in. Metadata will not be displayed on the page, but will be machine parsable, which means that Google sees that, but it won't be displayed on the page. Meta elements are typically used to specify page, description, keywords, author of the document, last modified, and other metadata. This is getting a little bit technical for you guys, but I want you to understand how important it is for you to add these to each page. Descriptions, the meta descriptions, the function of a meta description for your page is simple. Its main purpose is to get the visitors from Google to click your link. In other words, meta descriptions are there to generate click-throughs from search engines. It's going to be around 135 to 160 characters. And write this link down right here, this https://yoast.com. That is an awesome article all about meta descriptions and meta tags. If you're going to do your website yourself and not pay somebody to do it, to set it up for you, this is going to help you tremendously. Each page in your website needs to have a unique meta description and meta tag, so that Google knows, okay, this is what this page is about, this is what we're going to display on the search results so that people will click through it. And this is what it looks like here. Everybody has done a Google search, so you know what a Google search looks like. This is the link, this is the actual URL, and then this is the meta description down here. The meta tag you're not going to see. It's buried in the HTML code of the site. But this is the description that we're going to add right here. Right there. So the meta title for this page would be Matthew Meeks sells Gainesville, Georgia real estate. And then the description would be, always put a call to action in your description as well. If you don't put a call to action in there, people really, they just kind of read it and go about it. They don't actually take action on it. But put a call to action. Call me now. Click here. Find out current price for this particular home, whatever. Give them something to make them click on it. So call Matthew today for an updated list of current.
So you wouldn't actually list like mine, I currently have in there the cities that I work. I'm not having the cities that I serve. That's really not helping me.
Well, not really. I mean, it used to be that way, that you'd want those keywords in there.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with that is what's going to show on that search result in Google. So if somebody's reading a meta description or a description of your link that says Gainesville, Clayton, Habersham, Winder, Tequila, it's not really interesting. It doesn't tell them what they're clicking on it for.
Right. Thank you.
Now, if you said something like, Patricia is your #1 real estate resource in Habersham County, click here to get a list of all homes currently on the market for, and then name your towns, yes. That's the way you'd want to do it. So any questions about that? Each one of your pages on your site, your home page, any pages that you create within your site are going to need a meta description and a meta tag.
So,
Every page on your website, every page that you create, every page that's already there needs for you to go in and add a meta tag and a meta description, a unique one for that page. So whatever that page is about, that's what that description and tag needs to be about. It needs to be specific to that page.
Steve, tell me again how you got to that when you typed that. It was under SEO, but
yeah, under site info.
Site info.
Yeah. This is actually the site. This is the meta title and description for your home page. It's where this is located. So this page is very important because it gets all the information for your site onto your site. So now we refresh his page. We added the logo back. We've got his site title, his tagline. We haven't changed any of his menu yet. We've changed his theme. We left his search box the same, the Omni box. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see where it says from the blog. If you've written blog post, then they're going to show down here. But if you have not written any blog post on this particular site yet, every site has those same 4 blog posts. So delete them now. Go in and delete them. Because you don't want your site to be the same as 100,000 others. Google looks at that and says, that's a big no-no.
Then why is it on there?
They just put it on there from the out of the box, just so you'll have something there.
Then it's a big no-no? Well, it's not helping.
That's not helping you. You don't right. You don't want to have the same content that everybody in this room
understand,
has.
I just didn't know what you meant by no-no.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
yeah. You don't want to ever want to go in and copy and paste somebody else's blog post on your website, even if you give them credit for it, because then Google looks at it and goes, why is this the same as this other site? Which one do I give credit to? And then they'll ding you both.
If you have a blog, can you upload it to here? And
Yes.
how do you do that?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I had an old WordPress blog because I was using piggyback blogs to get my blog. That was one of the things with the old site. You had to use an outside source to get your blog on your website with the agency. This is built right in. So I was using that source to get my blog to show into my website. So I just went in there and copy and pasted each one of those posts into the new site and then deleted it from the other site. But just make sure you copy and paste it and then you actually save it to your new site before you delete it from your old site.
And do you ever delete those and add new ones, or are you just constantly adding new ones and just leaving them all there?
To the new site?
Yeah.
No, I'm right. I don't blog as much as I should, but
How often?
probably once every week or two. But I'm such a perfectionist, it takes me like an hour and a half to write a blog post.
Okay, with the blog post, if you want to let the public know what's happening on the square in Gainesville, and you want to write a post about it, that's still linking it to give you information from something Gainesville already put on there. Is that legal?
Yeah, just don't do it word for word. Even if you go to Gainesville.com and just copy a couple of sentences and put it on your site, change the words around a little bit so it's not exactly like it was on the other site, and you'll be fine. But you're going to
Promoting what's happening in Gainesville, what's happening in Dawsonville is okay.
Oh yeah,
Because I hate to write.
that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. And it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be a 5-page thing. It just needs to be well written. It needs to have pictures, and it needs to have a few links somewhere, preferably back to your site, somewhere on your site. But I'm going to show you something cool here in a minute with the blog post that actually keeps your blog post updated on a regular basis. So we'll get to that in just a second. All right, so any questions here?
I got a question.
Okay.
Link it back to another place on the site. So where you have those slideshows and underneath them, if I have pictures of the square in Gainesville, I can then put my link to this blog.
Right.
Can I then link the blog back to the picture?
You would, well, it's not really important doing that.
So what? Okay, give me an example of where you link it to then.
Yeah.
Like if you wrote a blog post about a festival going on in Gainesville this weekend, and that festival had an official webpage.
So that's taking people off my page.
Well, it is, but you had a link within your website to get them to your blog post, and then in your blog post, you want them to be able to get more information. The key there is not to have them open that link in the same window, but have them open it in a different window. And I know that's getting a little bit more technical, and sometimes it confuses me. But here's the deal: if you're in this window right here, and you click on this link, you see how it opens up another window over here? That's what you want to happen. Because if you click on that link inside this, and it replaces that window with where you're going, then you took them off your site completely. You want them to open in a new window, and it'll give you that option.
When you go to link it, you can choose that.
Right. Yeah, when you copy and paste the link, and it asks you how you want to set up the link, it'll ask you, do you want to do it in a new window or the current window? Always choose
Just like
a new
on
window.
Facebook when you do it.
Just like it. Perfect. Perfect. So, Matthew's site is coming together here. I'm going to send him a bill. I'll make sure I split it up between all you guys because you're helping me. Lead capture. This is important, right? This is why we're doing the site. Now, everybody has a different train of thought with lead capture on their website. You probably saw whenever I clicked on my site, if I clicked on a different tab in here, you'll see this box pop up. Every time they click on a different page in my site, that box pops up. Now, some people might think that's annoying, and I probably would if I was on somebody else's site, but you can easily dismiss it and continue on with what you're doing. Now, inside your interface here, you're going to get to choose how you want to do that. If you want to passively capture leads, visitors can view property details without submitting a contact form or registering on your site. If you just want to give them the information, this is what you're going to choose. I would not suggest that. I would choose this one. Visitors are blocked from viewing property details without submitting a contact form or registering on your site. Some people, like I say, everybody has a different train of thought on this. But here's the deal. They can go anywhere to search for properties. They can search for properties on Zillow. I'm not saying they're always going to be updated or active, but they can search for properties there. You want to capture the ones that are serious about buying or selling from you. And that's what this does. So mine is set up to aggressively capture leads, and that's why you see this pop up every time you click on a page. But what I like about it is that you can X out of it, as you saw. Come on.
So you don't have it set up that after 3 times that pops up, they can't go any further.
No. It just pops up every time.
Right. So they're still choosing.
Right.
If they close out of it, they can keep going.
They can keep going for, right. Well, I'll take that back. It does after, I think I've got it set for 5.
But you can choose how many times
You can.
X out.
Yeah, I think that's in a later
Go to plans tab.
later tab. Yeah. So anyway, I would suggest doing, because I mean ultimately we're trying to capture leads here. That's what we're trying to do. So, you know, in the past I've always had it set up to where they could just go on and do what they want to do. People could use my site for searching or whatever, however they want to do it. But I wouldn't get any leads from it. So I would just rather have it doing it this way. And that in my eyes, I'm capturing the leads that really want to do something, and not just kick tires.
Now, if you tell a stranger to go on my website, it's on my card, and they go on your website and do a search, and they pull up the search, does that, I've never done it, so does that just have your information to call about it, or does it show the listing agent and all that?
On these sites, it's supposed to be your listings, your leads. So it's supposed to go to,
You
that's a good
always
question.
have to show the listing agent.
Yeah.
No matter what company, if you're using their stuff.
So,
Like, it's like, you see, it's like if you have somebody looking at, online to, store or something.
well, let's just look at it.
They show the listing agent, someone in that listing is the listing agent always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Zillow, you know,
Like,
we have.
Zillow just now started doing it where it shows the listing agent. It was just showing ones who paid for it.
No, it showed you, you were just at the bottom really small. They
Oh.
have to always show
I
you.
didn't even see that.
Yeah, no, you always have to show you. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this thing, but man, it's like, do this.
I'm glad you're having trouble with it. Every time I teach down there, I call them. I swear I can call them.
I think it's time for me to do it.
Okay, let's see.
So-
Steve, give me one of your addresses and I'll put it in mine.
Um,
Property address.
396 North 5th Avenue, Winder. I give up. I don't know.
Put an asterisk, this was on.
That's good. If they let me do that.
After this.
Well, we'll get back to that question. I believe it's going to show the listing agent at the bottom in very small type because we have to, because that's the way it's set up. But we'll get
Well, I
back to
know that on
that.
the feature listings, it does not put their name, it's the company it comes from.
Right.
It doesn't have the agent's name.
Well, you know, on our KW app, when you share it with somebody, it's just your name, your picture and everything.
Yeah, that's like, you pay. You'll have your small line.
And if you want any more information, it goes to me.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure on those listings, somewhere it still says that. person.
It does somewhere. I'm just not.
It
Yeah.
has to, yeah.
If this thing was working right, I could pull it up.
Well, where I was getting at with that is if it does just show you, you wouldn't have to put the box up there for them to fill out. Because if they're serious, they're gonna contact you.
Here we go. So I just clicked on the first listing that popped up for Gainesville from my site.
Okay.
Not sure who. This is from Sugarloaf Realty Partners. If you want to get in touch,
And that's all it is Sugarloaf.
Yeah.
Right.
all it's required.
courtesy of Sugarloaf Realty Partners.
So basically, they fill out the part to get in touch when you go to you, right?
Yep.
So you really don't have to have that box if you know what's going up there. That, I know as a consumer, when I'm on the website, I don't go to another website.
You don't. It's personal choice.
Because then you're out to get telemarketers calling you.
It's personal choice, but if you set it up that way, it does it that way for the entire site. You can't. It won't let you pick and choose which ones you want to use it for. So that's just the way I've decided to do it. And I'm probably averaging 20 or 30 leads a month registered on my website, just on this particular site.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess it's not,
Do you have a way to track how they get to your site?
the tracking information on here will tell you where they come from. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Most of mine though is social media because everything that I don't get that much organic traffic. Most of mine is driven by me. So whether it's from Google Plus or a Facebook post or I'm using Smart Zip, so they link back to my site as well. So that's what it looks like. All right. So we talked about lead capture. Lead forwarding, make sure you put an email address in here at the bottom of this page. If you don't put an email address here, you're not going to know you have a lead. So put an email address that comes to your phone or one that you check on a regular basis. One that will notify you that you've received a lead. Custom domain. Okay, so this is always a really popular topic here. Adding your custom domain to your site. Does everybody own your custom domain? Does everybody have a custom domain? Okay, good. You're going to want to point that to this site from here on out. If you've got it pointed towards your old eAgency site, if you're with GoDaddy, and some of you guys might have purchased it through the KW Web Store, which is actually GoDaddy, you'll need to go to that particular website to get everything changed over. I'm not going to get into detail on that today because that's a whole other class altogether, honestly. But just know that you can point your custom domain. You're going to need to go to GoDaddy and either purchase a domain or take your old domain or your existing domain and change the name servers and change the CNAME to point towards your place, your site. Okay? I want to say it's not hard to do because GoDaddy actually has a tutorial on their website. You can type it in, just type in CNAME, the letter C and name, and it will tell you exactly how to change it over so it will point to your new site.
If you go to Michael Tridhart's site, he has videos that you
Yep.
can actually pull up and watch it right through it.
Tridhart is actually really good about that.
Side. Yeah,
Yep.
he's quick. That's like KW Resources. He's quick through.
Yeah, michaeltridhart.com. It's TRITTHART. Yeah, .com.
that's how I did mine, it was easy, doing it that way.
So that gives you a tutorial how to do that. See, this is the domain that everybody gets the same domain. So it'll be your name. I don't know how I got the 1 in there. Maybe that's my login. I'm not sure. .kw.com, but this is actually what shows in that address bar. Right, a realty group. So if he wanted to add a custom domain, he would come down here and add that domain here. Click add. Once you've done all the setup with GoDaddy or whatever domain provider you want to use. And read the help over here too, it helps. That's kind of why they call it help. Any questions on that? Oh, okay. All right. I'm not sure why it keeps going back to that. Site tracking. Okay. Site tracking is how this is how you're going to track where your traffic comes from. This is a little more technical for Placester 101, but if you have a Google Webmaster account, you can use that tracking ID on this site to go to your Webmaster account and find out where your traffic is actually coming from. There is a code that Google will give you. It's called a tracking ID. You're going to take that tracking ID and you're going to put it in that box there, and then Google says, okay, I'm going to scroll your site. I'm going to crawl your site. It usually takes them about 30 days to do it. We're going to find that tracking ID, and then from here on out, we're going to tell you where your traffic is coming from. Kind of gives you an idea, okay, if I'm paying Facebook $500 a month to drive traffic to my site with ads, is it worth it? Is it all coming from there? Is it coming from Google organically? Are people going to type in homes for sale in Gainesville and find my website? That's what this will tell you. But again, you've got to be able to set up a webmaster account, which is actually pretty simple. If you just type in Google Webmaster, it'll walk you through it. It's a really cool tutorial. It's really easy. But there's a lot to it. Once you get in there, it's really robust. There's a lot of stuff that you have to look at to be able to understand it, and I don't even understand it. All I know is I have it on there. I go there every so often to look and see, all right, where's my traffic coming from? But as I said before, I pretty much know where my traffic comes from. It comes from social media and from the mailers that I send out. So it's not really benefiting me to track it that closely. So, that being said, we'll move on from that.
So, can you back on that page?
Yep.
I went through that whole hoops to where it says find your tracking ID or whatever over there, and I'm just like in a big circle over there.
Right. That's what I mean by there's a lot of different. If you don't normally do this on a day-to-day basis, you're going to end up going in a circle. Because I did it for like 3 days, and I got so mad that I almost threw this thing through the window.
And it's on the Michael Trudard site.
It is on the
I have
Trudard
a tracking
site.
ID, and I know now I got it. I followed his videos.
Right.
So I must have done it.
Okay, what's his name again?
Michael Trudard.
Just Google T-R-I-T-H-A-R-T.
And Google has they have really good tutorials as well about how to do that. Sometimes I get lost in the loop with Google. I feel like I'm in a loop with them.
Just like in
So you just kind of have to take it.
Trithart, T-R-I-T-H-A-R-T.
T-R-I-T-H-A-R-T. There you go.
And we get 2 T's.
And it's on
Yep.
KW.
Well, no, just Google his name and you'll come up.
I just put his name in.
I'm getting all on the site. Place to resources. Perfect.
Any more questions on this one? All right.
No, thank you.
And I'll tell you something else. You can have it email you once a week, the report.
You can.
So you don't have to remember to go look at it. It's email to you.
Yep. Sure can. Yeah, you can set up notifications. It'll notify you whenever somebody does a search for you. It'll notify you if you want to have Google tell you whenever somebody types in your name you can do that. I did that one time, and I was getting hundreds of emails a day. Because apparently Steve Ryder is pretty popular in England. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a race car driver, there's a news reporter.
No, just from this, talking to this side.
Is there any way, because I spell Diane with 2 N's, most of the world spells it with 1. If somebody puts my name in there with 1 N, it's got to be spelled right to link to me, right?
Well, if they're typing in your URL, yes. But if they're doing a search for you, if you've got keywords set up, it really depends, and this is a little more technical, but let's just say you want them to go to your About page on your website. And your About page has your name spelled with 2 N's. If your if your HTML, no, not your HTML, if your meta description and meta tags have it spelled with 1 N, it'll still find you. So your meta tag, which is not going to be seen on the page, the description, let me go back. Don't do it in your description, do it in your meta tag. So make your meta tag Diane with 1 N, Diane with 2 N's, so you don't miss anybody. Or you can just change your name.
I could just buy that domain too.
I don't blame you. Y'all can tell I'm different, right? All right, so site verification. This is really, really, really important. So pay attention. This goes back to Webmaster. The Google Webmaster, Bing Webmaster, Pinterest. Remember I talked earlier about Pinterest and how they changed their verification? Don't worry about Pinterest because you can't verify Pinterest right now through this site for whatever reason. And Google+. Your Google Webmaster tools, if you set up a Google Webmaster account, it's going to give you a verification code to verify this site that it's yours. If you do not verify that this site is yours, you will not get any search engine optimization because they don't know who this is. They don't know who owns it. They don't know who the author is. Okay? So set up a Google Webmaster account at some point and go in and grab your, follow the tutorial, set up your website, bless you, set up your website and grab your site verification code. Come over here to site verification and type it in there or copy and paste it in there. And then click save. And then go back to Google Webmaster and hit verify. And once you do that, then Google says, I'm going out to search this website, I'll be right back. They come back, they find it, yay, it's verified. We know it's you. Then you're all good with Google. Same thing with Bing and Google+. This actually, I cover this more in the second kind of Placester 102, if you will, or the more technical side of this stuff, because there's a lot to the Webmaster tools. But I will say this: if you hire somebody like Brandco or Trithart, they do all the stuff for you. And you got to pay them, whatever it is, $1,500 or whatever it is. But they do all this for you.
Are you going to teach that second class?
Yeah, we've got it coming up. I can come up here and do it. I think we've got it coming up in Braselton soon too. So you can come down to Braselton if you want, or we can schedule it up here too.
How do you find out when it is in Braselton?
I can send you I have to look at my calendar. I'll send you the calendar, or I'll get Jackie to post it, or Allison to post it.
Okay, this is being done live stream right now.
It is?
I think so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So that I think possible too, because one of my kids does this to me.
Okay.
So I want them to see it.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's perfect.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know all this has been done for me, but also know I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And luckily, one of my adult kids know what to do. And I just told them what I wanted, and they did it.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
It's like, I know. I'm glad.
My daughter's 10 years old. I can't wait for she
No, I know. And what she didn't know, she'd call somebody else who does it for a living. So
the difference is my daughter's a very good negotiator. She always gets me to pay her more than I offer her. So I'm going to end up It's gonna cost me a fortune. when she
That's
starts
just
doing
being
that
a
stuff.
daughter.
You ready to
Yeah.
start?
I'll never forget, we were out in the yard doing something, I asked her to do it, to rake some leaves, and I said, I'll give you $10 for that. She said, Daddy, that's at least $20 worth of work. I said, are you kidding me? She goes, well, that's what you do for a living, right? I said, yes it is. I said, okay, I'll do 15. She goes, sold. I started looking around like somebody I was on a TV show or something. She's so funny.
I was today, I'm saying, can't they do what I told you to do?
Oh, my bad, I know.
You leave her, you leave her.
Yeah. You eat here, you have food on the table, you know, roof over your head. Yeah.
Now, I'm paying for my daughter to go to college for this, but she doesn't have time to fix it for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
you better fix that.
Of course, she's in Virginia.
I don't know, my daughter was with me.
All right, so make sure that you go in and do the site verification. It's like I say, it's going to be a little bit more technical than most of you guys are used to. It was for me, but just follow the tutorials with Google, and they'll get you through it. And then if you have any problems with it, call me. I'll help you with as much as I can. All right, so we're done with this. That's the basic setup for your website under site settings. Now we're going to go across the top here to pages. This is where you can add as many pages as you want. Those are your current pages. See, Dave.
Thank you.
Those are your current pages there. If you want to add a page, remember how I told you each one of these has a little plus sign? Just click the plus. It asks you, what are your template? What do you want your template to be? Is it a blog post? Is it a contact page? Is it a testimonial index? There's your testimonials, agent, about page, areas index, your page title, and the page content. I'm going to show you some of the pages that I have set up under area info, under towns and neighborhoods. I actually created a page for some of the neighborhoods or some of the towns around me. This is what it looks like. So when you click on the link for area info and towns and neighborhoods, which I actually renamed mine from, I want to say it said cities maybe, but I like towns and neighborhoods better. This is what it looks like. When you create a page under this link, here's what you see.
Did you take that picture? Or you...
All these pictures are mine.
See, it's aggravating, ain't it?
So this is what those pages look like. It's scrolling through the pictures that I've uploaded of Hamilton Mill.
What kind of camera do you use?
It is a Nikon. It's a DSLR. I've got a 20 millimeter wide lens, wide angle, and a speed. What do they call it? A speed something. Flash. Yeah. When you're outside like that, I don't really use the flash that much. So, but I'll be honest with you, this is all Photoshop right here. Put this in Lightroom and click Auto Tune, and it makes it look pretty. So I can't take credit for any of this.
Now with that picture with the people there,
That was one of those where I was talking about. Ooh, hold on, let me go back. No, it'll roll back around in a minute. It was so far away that you didn't have to worry about it, so I didn't really worry about it that much. Let me get out of
If
this.
you wanted to make testimonials in there, I was told one time that you could have one place for testimonials. If you copy and paste them anywhere else, they're considered reviews. Is that true?
Well, a review and a testimonial is the same thing. So basically, what my testimonials on my webpage are reviews.
That's what I was going to ask. Where should I
Yeah.
put the testimonial?
You-
Webpage, Google.
I put them on here, but I take my reviews from Google and Realtor.com and Zillow and I just copy and paste them into my site.
You don't have to have permission since they are the one that put it on there.
No, because it's a review about you. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. And I know that kind of goes against the whole, don't plagiarize or don't copy from one site to another. But from what I understand, this is what Chad Hines, everybody knows Chad, right? Said that we should do that with our reviews, is put them on our own site. That it doesn't count against you because it's on a site made for reviews. Does that make sense? In other words, if you go to somebody's blog and plagiarize somebody's blog and post it as yours and don't give them credit for it, it's bad. But if you go grab a review that's on a site made for reviews, like Trulia or Zillow, about me, and put it on your site, then you're good to go. I think that's a little more technical than I'm prepared to talk about, but right. So anyway, here's you're talking about those the page content. If you want to create a page, here's your page title, your page content. This is where you're going to put your pictures. Your video. If you want to put a video of, if I wanted to go to Hamilton Mill and just video the golf course, this is where I would post that video. And then at the bottom, again, your meta title and meta description. Same thing for every page. You want to make sure it's unique for that particular page.
Okay, video. Is there a size limit?
I believe there is, but you're just going to click on Insert Video. You're going to embed your video or YouTube link right here from YouTube, and it's going to pop up. It's kind of like it does in Facebook, where it'll pop up and it'll show the video there, show a thumb of the video. You click on it and it starts playing. It doesn't take you away from the site. So it actually puts the video there on the page.
And where do you go for that?
Under the page content, under the editor here, just click on Insert Video. If you want to upload an image, you can do that. If you want to link something, you can do that. The formatting here is all here for that. Or if you want to write it in HTML code, you can do that too. You're feeling really spunky. So, and then you want to make sure you want to add this page to my menu. If this is one of those pages that you want, let's just say this is going to be testimonials, or you're going to want to write a special or create a special page about, I just keep going back to lake properties because it's top of mind. You want to make sure that you add that to your menu at the top of the page, top of your home page, lake properties. And then you've built a page for lake properties and it shows up in your menu. So everybody understands how to create a page, right? This is actually, it's time consuming, but it's fun to me. I enjoy doing this. Because you can do whatever you want to do with it. All right, so. All right, so we talked about page. You can add as many pages as you want to. There is no limit. Blog posts. Remember those blog posts I told you to delete? Here they are right here. Under blog posts, remove, 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 remove.
Is it better to not have any than to have none?
Yes.
I mean, no, until you get some.
Right. It's better to have nothing there at all than to have 4 posts that are the same as 100,000 other websites.
Okay.
Yep, sure is. So then you're going to write your first blog post. You're going to click on the plus, and there you go.
What if you edit theirs? Is that not good? Because you have the ability to
Yeah, you can
edit
do that.
theirs.
You can do that.
So,
Yeah.
is that,
You can do that. I mean, it's just going to be, it's not going to be very specific to you, but you can do that if you want to. Same thing here. Post. This is just like creating a page. Basically, a blog post is another page on your website. It's just underneath your blog. Instead of being a separate page with a tab at the top, it is a separate page. Okay? So you're going to create your page. This excerpt is typically a shortened version of the post. You know how when you click on a link on Google, or if you do a Google search, remember how I talked about the description, the meta description? it's kind of what the excerpt is about. It's going to take, let's say you wrote a thousand characters on your blog post. This excerpt is going to be kind of like the summary of that particular blog post is what you're going to put in here. It's just a shorter version of it. It gives people an idea of what it's about, so they don't have to, or if they don't want to read the whole thing. And you can also feature an image. Let me go back to mine here. So here's some of the blog posts that I've brought over from my old site. There's your featured picture.
So you wrote
Text.
all that personally?
Yep. Now this one didn't take me that long because I wrote this in a fit of anger. Because some bonehead in a new construction subdivision over in Gwinnett County was trying to get my buyers to put up $10,000 non-refundable because or trying to get them to put up $10,000 because they didn't want to use their lender, one of their 3 lenders. Shorter version of this thing here is, I said, okay, if you use our lender, it's 1% deposit for a build job. If you don't use our lender, it's $10,000, and if you don't close on time, that's non-refundable and doesn't go toward the purchase price.
Does that imply if they mess up the closing? Because a lot of times it's their fault.
Bingo. Because I asked them that question.
Oh, nice.
And they said, well, no, there's really no recourse if the builder's late.
Right.
I'm like, and you guys sell homes in here?
Right, really. Well, yeah,
Seriously?
because
People not
you
reading the
people
fine
walk up the street and.
Well, that's what
They
they
don't
prey
read
on. They prey on the folks that are not represented. So
Right.
when I come walking in, first of all, I get an attitude because I'm with my clients,
Yeah.
which most people aren't. And it's like they're wanting to go ahead and write a contract that day. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Send me the contract. I want to read over it because it's on their contract, of course.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, how do you guys actually get away with that? So that's what made me write this.
Did they answer you
Oh, yeah.
how they get away with it?
Yeah. They basically just, most of the time they work with unrepresented buyers.
And it's in the fine print, they should have read it.
Right. It's in the contract. They agree to it when they sign the contract, is what they say. So anyway. So yeah, it didn't take me long to write this one because I was like, I really need to get this out there.
So if that one's your featured photo, what's the one showing right now, the big one?
This one?
Yeah.
That is, let me go back to and see. I don't remember where I was at. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, I'm lost.
I think you're on it on the other
View preview,
page.
over on the right side.
No, well, this is.
If you go back to the other thing.
Because yours doesn't scroll on the very beginning page, right? You stopped yours from scrolling.
Right,
Is there a reason why?
because they did the special thing. Yeah.
So is it better?
The featured image is right here. It's that one at the very top.
Where'd you get it?
The header. That is. I don't remember.
Is the other picture you had just another one that you added to the blog post?
Yes, that actually is my house being built.
Okay, so you can add a bunch of pictures to it.
Yeah.
You don't have to have just one feature.
Okay.
No, you can add as many as you want. You can size them differently. I mean, you can arrange them however you want to arrange. It's just like it's WordPress.
How do you end up arranging?
You just choose where you want it to go.
Oh, okay.
Edit.
So that's your house, and therefore you gave permission. How about the house that's up top?
That one, it was a picture I took of a house somewhere. I don't know where it was. Yeah, as long as I took the picture.
So if it's someone else's house, you cannot post it.
Well,
If you
I
took it
think
from a public street, you can.
I can, yeah.
you can't have like their address or anything on there. Like you probably can't show.
So someone could come up in front of my home and take a picture of it and post it.
It would depend on what copyright laws and websites. if you were doing like a stock image website, you've gotta have a photo release. But
Right.
for your own website, there's a little bit more gray area.
Yeah, if you take the pictures yourself, that's the thing. But now I'm sure there's an attorney out there somewhere that can probably make sure that you go to jail for something like that. Because there always is. If you talk to any attorney and they say there's always a way around it. But the fact of the matter is I took that picture from standing in a street in a new home construction subdivision. I mean, whoever is, I'll take a chance on this.
Well,
But
yeah,
I'm not worried
as
about
long
it.
as you probably don't put anything about what neighborhood it is or what street or anything like that.
As a matter of fact, when I go into Photoshop or Lightroom is the one I use, I wipe all of that information because the camera actually takes, you know, the location and everything about that picture when it was taken. I wipe all that from it when I save it to my hard drive. So it has no location information on it, it has no name, it has no nothing. So it's just a final picture.
It's called Light Shop or Light what?
Lightroom.
Lightroom.
Mm-hmm.
Photoshop's free though, right?
No.
It comes,
Well, I've got that.
If you buy Adobe, it comes with Adobe.
Okay, that's all.
you know, Photoshop, Lightroom, and a couple other ones go together. They do on TV or
I don't think because I just have Lightroom, I don't have Adobe. I just bought it. I think it was like $49.
I think it's one set price, right?
Right.
Because I don't pay monthly.
But I will say this, it uses up a lot of resources on the computer. So does Photoshop. It pulls a lot of resources. If I pull it up, I mean this is a fairly new computer. And
Close everything.
it's down, yeah. Which,
Okay.
so you can go in, if you want to edit these later on, these blog posts, you can do that. You can go back in and edit them later on if you want to update them. But I want to show you the coolest part about these blog posts. You know, we talk about, blogs being updated, being relevant information, and Google wants to see that it's relevant to what your site is about. But one way that they have come up with to make these even more updated. Hello. I know. Okay, why is it not showing my? Never mind. I'm in the wrong spot. I'm talking about the blog. I should be talking about the area. I'm bouncing around here, guys. I'm sorry. We were talking about the area a minute ago, and I got off on the blog. So here's the deal with the area. This is what's really cool about this. So I created these pages inside my website to let buyers know that are moving into the area, or even buyers that, maybe they live in one area on the other side of Atlanta. They don't know much about Swanee. They want to know about Swanee. So they click on this, and they come over here and they read about Swanee. Now, I'm not going to go into this page and update this page very often at all, okay? Because it says what I want it to say. It gives them the information about Swanee. Now, I took some of this information from Swanee's website. I took it from different websites about Swanee, but I wrote it myself. I made notes, and then I wrote the text myself. So there's a lot of information on here that you're going to see on other sites, like 500 acres of parkland. I found that on the Swanee website, but I wrote it myself. I didn't just copy and paste it. But here's the cool part. All this is going to stay the same. You got a picture here, you got these pictures here, and you got the scrolling pictures at the top, which are really cool because it creates, it tells Google that your site is being updated. But check this out at the bottom. It pulls all the listings in from that area. And every time one of those listings is updated in FMLS, it updates this page.
Cool.
Every one of these listings right here is considered an index page in Google.
But you had to set up.
No.
There you go.
What?
You created a page called Swanee, and it automatically knows to pull up Swanee.
Yep. Let me show you how to do it. Watch this. if you go to areas and you hit the plus. Let's say I want to do one for Gainesville. It asks you what type of area it is. It is a locality. And then it's going to ask you, okay, what's the locality? And you're going to go down here and you want to find Gainesville. Should this area be featured? Yep. That's what I'm doing. Here's where you upload your slideshow photos. That's those photos going across the top, right? That's what those are. You're going to upload those. Those have to be that same size, the 1600 by 600 pixels like I talked about before. That's how you use Lightroom.
Bigger than that, or do they have to be exactly that size?
No. I haven't tried to upload any that weren't that size, so I don't know what it would do. I know that I know from past experience on other sites, if you upload a picture that's smaller than what it's supposed to be, it's gonna make it, the aspect ratio is gonna be really beautiful. It's not gonna look right. So when I go into Lightroom, I just type in the long edge, which is 1600, and I don't think the height of it is actually 600. I think it's a little less than that, and that's why it's zoomed in more.
Now, earlier it said 660.
Yeah, I guess.
This is different.
Right, and there's 660 and 600 is not that much.
No, I know, but I just wondered.
Yeah. It's not a huge difference. So in your page content, your headline, your body copy is gonna be your text. You know, this here. Okay, that's your headline. Your full width image is gonna be this image here. Then your subheading is going to be down under here. And then you're going to write some body copy there. And then your half width image are going to be these two pictures here. And then based on that information that you put in there for Gainesville as a locality, it pulls the nearby listings from that.
And it doesn't matter that Gainesville has multiple zip codes.
No.
It will just do anything with a Gainesville address.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want Flowery Branch, you're going to do a separate page for Flowery Branch.
Yes. Yeah, and you're going to want to, because you're going to want it to be hyper-local.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to do just real estate in Georgia. You want to do real estate in Gainesville, Georgia, Lake Lanier, whatever. You know, drill it down. Drill it down. And then here's your excerpt again and your SEO. Meta title, meta description. Isn't that cool? All that's done in eEdge and eAgency. You have to do all that manually.
Yeah.
Every bit of it. And the best thing about it is like I said before, once you set these pages up, let's just say you set a page up today for Gainesville, and in 1 month from now, or you check your number of index pages for your website today when you set that up, and you had 100 index pages. You set this up, and in 30 days from now, when Google crawls your site again, you're going to see a tremendous increase in the number of index pages because each one of those listings is indexed as a page within your website. More index pages means more traffic, means you're more relevant, which means Google says, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. You go up the rank.
I have a question.
Okay.
On the excerpt and the meta description, can those essentially be the same thing?
Yes, but just remember, well, yeah, they can actually, because the meta tag is not going to show on anywhere. It's just buried in the HTML.
Okay, and that's the one where you just kind of do like Gainesville, homes for sale, like
Right.
things like that.
Right.
And then so you can do the excerpt and the description, like pretty much copy and paste.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, just make sure that each page is different. You can do the tag and description the same on the same page. Just make sure each page has a different description and tag. Correct. So, and also too, I believe there is a way, I haven't done it yet, but I believe there's a way to go into each one of these and specify what listings you would like for them to show on each one of these pages. I just need to research that a little more. I was looking at that the other night and I got sidetracked. So everybody's gonna go out and create area pages, right? Those are the coolest. What I like about it, though, I mean, look at the how it just on this. It looks like blog posts, right? It looks like somebody has sit down and really put a whole. I mean, I did put some thought into it, but it looks like somebody has really, really spent a lot of time on this, and I hardly spent any time on this. It took me more time to go out and take these pictures than it did to come back and do all this. So these are really, really cool pages. All right, so testimonials. Here's where you're going to add your testimonials.
I have a quick question about like the areas.
Okay.
Can you overdo it with areas? Like put too many things in there?
I think so.
Okay.
Just depending on how much area you want to cover. I try to stay about a 25-mile radius from my address, my house. So, I mean, and I try to focus on the towns that I know I want to do business in. Like, Beaufort is a big one for me because the Beaufort City Schools are so popular. And it's easy to sell a listing over there if it's priced right. So I try to focus on that. So that's why I have a Beaufort page. Hamilton Mill is right down the street. So, although trying to push Matt Hermes out of Hamilton Mill is probably nearly impossible, but I guess there's enough business for us all, right? So these are all reviews, and I don't even have them all on here yet, but I just go to Google and Trulia and Realtor.com and Zillow and take these from there and just put them in here. And all you're going to do is just add a testimonial. That's all you're going to do. Same thing. You got the same title and description there for each one of them.
With being a new agent, and as of right now not having any testimonials, but like when I get one, would it be worth it to put that one on there?
Oh, yeah.
Even though I wouldn't have any others?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sure would. Oops. So, Patricia, you asked about the testimonials or the scrolling a minute ago.
Yeah.
On my page, mine don't scroll. This is my testimonial page here. If you want to read one of these, you can just click more. But on my home page,
That's your house on there, right? Is that your,
no, it's just a stock photo.
that's just like, well, yours doesn't scroll on your own.
No, but at the bottom, look what scrolls.
Okay, cool. What the, your testimonials?
Come on, scroll. There you go.
You have to give you time to read it.
Right. So they actually, Brandco did that, and I didn't tell them to do that. They just did that. So I thought it was pretty cool.
So we can still go on there and make that scroll then. Okay.
I don't know.
You can figure it out, you can figure out how to do it.
That's a darn good question.
Ask your kid.
I will.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, go home and ask your children.
Go. Well, this is a 30-year-old. It's not like it's a child. And
Do they know way?
I-
they know.
I think you
My oldest
can.
is 31, I know.
Who am I logged in? Oh, okay, that's me. Okay.
But if she's going to school for this, and you're paying for her college,
No,
yeah, I could go on.
and we're planning
Here's
our
your
wedding.
class
She's a
project.
little busy, honey.
All right, so let's go. We just got a couple more here, and we're done. Your leads. Whenever somebody hits your website, it's going to show leads for. I don't remember how long they stay up here as leads. Oh no, you have to change it from a lead to somebody you're dripping on. So I haven't changed all these yet, but this is where your leads come in from your website. So anybody that registers on your website, this is where they come. This is where the information is going to be. So that's pretty easy. If you want to add somebody to that, you can. if you have a lead you want to drip on, you can add them here. I wouldn't suggest putting them in here because it's just one more place you got to keep up with them. But whatever you want to do. Now, here's your autoresponders for your when somebody registers on your site, they can get an autoresponder for registering for your contact form, lead capture form, new user registration form. Drink apparently. Save search registration form. This is what they're going to get in their email. Now, somebody asked me the other day when I was teaching this, can you change these? And I was under the impression that you can, but apparently you cannot. So, yeah, I think so. So, I mean, they're all written pretty well, honestly.
Now, you only had 3 of them checked.
Yeah, I don't know
Why
why.
did you pick those 3? Because it seemed like they're redundant.
Yeah.
The contact form, lead capture form,
I don't know, that's a good
new
question.
user registration form.
Well, and keep in mind that I use my site for when I'm teaching this, so it's probably a good chance that I changed it last time I taught it and didn't change it back. So,
Okay, so
more than likely, I need to click on all of them.
all of them.
Well, I mean, if you think about it,
But they'll get a lot in their email. They'll be overwhelmed.
well, if they register one time, they're not going to get the prompt to register again. You know what I'm saying? If they click on one, they shouldn't anyway. So if they click on your contact form and they fill out your contact form, when they try to fill it out again, I don't think it's going to give them the option to do that.
So autoresponders are those things that pop up and ask them to fill it out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was what they got in an email
No,
when they filled it out.
No, an autoresponder is what they get when they fill it out. They fill out this. They fill out the box here,
Yep.
this here, and this is what they get. They get the email that comes with this.
So that's what I'm saying. They're going to get an email with all those things in it if you check that?
No, just for that particular site, that particular page that if they go to the contact page
Okay.
and they fill it out here.
Because that call to action is on every one of your pages. So they're going to, if they go to the call to action on the area page, they'll get an email about the area?
No, it'll just basically just says, look, I know we see you filled it out. We'll be in touch soon. Thank you for visiting the site. Blah 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 blah.
So they're all kind of say the same thing.
Pretty much. And that's one thing, you have to upgrade your subscription to be able to change those to be more specific. That's one of those things that,
Have you noticed that when they fill out the box that keeps popping out, that they only put in what they want to put in?
that's a good question. I don't know.
Because
most of mine come
the
through.
other day that just gave me their email, not their telephone number.
I'm trying to think.
I don't think that'd be true because they don't even really have to put it in.
No, they don't, because I've got it set to where they can click out of it. But let's see what Nicholas did. He put his email and phone number in.
And so,
Hmm.
how
Good
quickly
question.
do you contact them after you get an email notification?
Depends on what time of day it is.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, if somebody contacts me at 7 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, they're going to get a call on me. If they call me Saturday at 3:30, I'm watching the dogs kick off, so they'll get a call from me probably on Sunday.
Mine's requiring everything for some reason to be in here.
Is it?
I set it up there, yeah. I don't like that. I'm gonna fix that. Phone number and all.
Okay, so we are done. Did everybody learn something?
Yes, thank you.
See how easy it is to use this site compared to the other? I don't know how many of you guys use the other ones, but I think this is much simpler than our old sites. And I think they look much more professional than our old sites. So hopefully you guys can take some of this and implement it. Don't try to do it all at once though. What I've been doing with these area pages is I put my camera in the car, and if I'm going out to show property or go visit an area that I know I haven't done yet, that I have my camera with me, I just drive around, take pictures, and make not make a special trip for it, and then come back and work on it. But I try to do maybe a couple of hours a week just time block it a couple hours a week, depending on what day I have open, to work on this. So don't try to do it all at once, because it'll drive you nuts. Trying to get it all done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're gonna email us?
Yeah, let me give you my email address. Y'all, if y'all send me an email, I'll respond to you with whatever you need.
Oh, we can go on your website, right?
You can do that. That's awesome. It's Steve Ryder 1, the number 1 at Gmail.
To find out when your second class.
Yes, yeah, I'll let you know. Because I didn't look at the calendar anyway. I don't even remember when it is.
So now, if it says Brazelton, we won't have a live feed, will we?
We can set it up that way.
Can we? Because see, that goes to YouTube. See, and I can, or Allison takes all of our live feeds and posts them on her channel.
Okay.
So that if we miss a class, you guys can look at it.
Good idea.
Because then then I can just say to my daughter, look at this.
Yeah.